Spin this around. If I score this really well, sometimes I can get this to peel. And the reason it's able to peel is because this is a younger animal. A younger animal than that the bone hasn't completely hardened yet. All right, when animals mature, their bones ossify. In other words, they harden up. So this one is only about 1.5 years old. Imagine that, 1.5 years old. What were you like at 1.5 years? Little baby. This thing is 800 pounds. Most meat that we see is very young. You know, when we're talking veal, it's about five months old. Pork, most hogs today are about 6 months to 8 months old. Most chickens, when you talk about broiler chicken, it's only 6 to 8 weeks old. That's it, 6 to 8 weeks. Chicken is the most efficient meat as far as grain usage. Chicken, it's about 2 pounds of grain to 1 pound of finished meat, whereas beef could be anywhere from 4 to 12 pounds, depending on the quality grain that you're after. That's why prime meat is so expensive, because it took so much more grain to reach that heavy level of marbling. All right. Spin this around. Take off this piece now. See the natural seam just comes right apart. Voila. And then this. Down a little bit. We'll take out this kneecap bone. So these bones, certainly you see marrow in here, right? That's soft marrow. This bone would have marrow from here to here. These bones don't really have marrow on the ends. So they would be used for stocks and things like that. They got a lot of connective tissues on the ends. Marrow bones are more money. Chefs want marrow bones. They're quite a bit more money. Marrow bones actually don't help your stock very much because marrow presents a lot of grease in the stock that you have to skim off later. Not that you don't want any marrow bones in there. You can have a few, but not too much. All right, I'm just trimming this down a little bit.
What's that called, Chef?
This is called the knuckle.
Knuckle?
Yep, that's the knuckle.
Separate the knuckle from the gooseneck.
I took the knuckle away from the bottom round gooseneck, right. All right, and this piece, you know, if you look at it, it's not one muscle. It's multiple muscles. All right? It's like the quad muscle on your leg. It's got some collagen bands. See that collagen band that's running through the middle? Customers do not want to see that. Even on a braised item, they're like, ew. And people are so disconnected from their meat that they don't want to see any sinews or anything. They just want it perfect. So we have to oblige that. But how would you work around that? You could separate this into multiple sections. It's amazing to me how separated people are. Like when I go to the supermarket today, there's like no fat in there. You know what I mean? When I look at the cuts in the case, everything is super trim. There's hardly any fat at all. Now, this is called the gooseneck. Gooseneck is 3 cuts together. It's the eye round, the bottom round, and the heel.
Heel?
Heel.
Let's call it the rump. Call the rump?
No, the rump is something else.
Heel?
Would you mind repeating these 3 cuts?
I will. We're going to take it apart, and then you're going to see them. And then we're going to repeat them and repeat them. It's going to drive you crazy. And then you're going to realize that every 4-legged animal is basically laid out exactly the same. They all have this. Even a mouse would have this.
Yeah, I noticed that.
A mouse gooseneck. Be like, But you know what I mean? It's all there. It's all the basic same anatomy. Alright, what I'm peeling out now is called the eye round. It's an individual muscle. It's a circular piece. Alright.
What type does that layer of fat, like on the skin and stuff, does that act as a barrier protective at all?
Yeah, well, and when the animal is alive?
More when you're storing it, I guess.
When you're storing it, absolutely. If I'm going to dry age this, dry aging meaning hanging the meat out so it improves flavor, yes, I'd want lots of subcutaneous fat. If I'm roasting it, I want that fat on there as well as a protective layer. In the vacuum pack bag, it really serves no good purpose. In a vacuum pack bag, it tends to soak up the purge, the liquid that's in the bag, and it gets all watery, which is not a good thing. The vacuum pack bag, which was invented in 1960s, 65, changed the way that the meat industry stored all their meat. And the downside is, the upside is you can store meat longer. The downside is you don't get any of the benefits of the dry aging. It used to be every piece of meat that came to you was dry aged, and you know, it was stored in a train car or on a tractor trailer and driven from wherever it was processed to your place, and then it was probably broken down in some processor in an inner city and then sold out to, you know, butcher shops and purveyors from there, or the chefs from there. So it probably had about a week or 2 of dry age on it before you got it. Today, everything is put in the bag within 3 days of slaughter, which is good and bad. Everything is fresher. It doesn't develop the same flavor characteristics. So yes, fat on the outside would be good to a certain extent. Fat on the outside when roasting is a good idea. But sometimes certainly too much fat isn't good on the plate, that's for sure. Customers will complain about fat.
So that cut that you just took off, Chef, what was on?
All right, now, this piece is called the heel, and this is a tougher cut related to the shank. It's joined right to the shank right there, so it's got some of the same characteristics of shank. This is called the bottom round flat. this thing. And then it looks like the bottom of a boat. Isn't that cute? And this is the eye round. This was what? Knuckle. Makes a good sandwich. Knuckle sandwich. And then this is what? Top round. Top round sits on top. Yeah, this is a top round. The full just top round. Right. Or inside round. That's two names. Inside round, top round. The bottom round is sometimes known as the outside round, but we're not going to do that. This one is more important. This is the one you're going to see more often than any of the others. Not that I want to discount these. I mean, certainly the price of these is much less than this. Oh, and this is what?
Shank.
All right, we're going to bone those out tomorrow and probably work with these tomorrow. So there's your round of beef broken into what kind of cuts would these be considered now?
Subprimals.
Subprimal cuts, right. It was the primal, then we divided it through all those natural seams into the subprimal.